But now Audacity's not working. I gotta restart Audacity.
Oh no, Cody. Cody's having
You just
trouble.
lost everything I said. Here we go. Okay, here we go. There we go. We in the house now. Let's blow up some balloons.
That's what you're doing?
Blowing up some balloons. Oh, last week it was so odd
Okay,
doing
but
this.
you're helping me
without
with
that.
this.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Oops.
Oh.
It was
It's
just
just
a
a
nightmare.
I knew it was you saying it, Mark, the whole time.
This is Help Desk Nightmares.
Is it though?
This podcast takes a look at the interactions help desk and support techs have on a regular basis and the nightmares we encounter.
Hey, and we're all back. We're all back. We're all back. And
What? Why can't I see?
Dave has a soundboard. Oh, I didn't share it. I stopped
yeah.
sharing.
Dave
Is that a
is
soundboard, or are you
soundboard.
making? Are you saying those words?
What's that?
Were you saying those words, or is that a soundboard?
Which one?
When it said "we all here."
That was me.
Fake news.
See, what the heck? I'm telling you. We don't need
Oh,
a digital
We're here on
soundboard
the
device.
Skype, and we're here. We're gonna do a podcast. It's gonna be terrific and fantastic. It's
Okay.
like we're here in California.
I stopped sharing the screen because I have the.
Secret
it's not really a
news.
script, like the outline up. now.
Oh shucks!
Oh,
you don't want to share with
shucks.
us. I see how
Heck,
you are.
oh heck. I don't want you to see all my secrets.
Nope.
Because Cody tried to see them the last time that I was here.
Yeah, and Mark told me if I would have just asked for access to his home last week, he would have gave it to me,
Yeah.
and we would have had
it's
all
not a
these cool
key.
sounds.
It's I have a keypad, so you punch in a code.
It would have been bad. I would have just chilled there and ate all your food.
That's
You
fine.
would
There
have
wasn't
brought
much
your little
food.
bag of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, my little ice pack because I won't want to turn on his air conditioner. Be a good time.
I gotta move this
Fantastic.
outro music, or it's gonna cut in the middle of nothing.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
snap.
that's not
So
good.
you guys were saying that it was a little bit awkward because you didn't have any of my soundboard stuff last week. So you didn't have the intro. It got put in. You probably didn't listen to the episode yet of
Not yet.
just
I
you
actually
guys.
did.
Oh,
I
nice.
actually did.
So I put it in afterward, and that's fine. But for you guys, it's just like,
That's fine.
okay, here we go, and we're done
you
now.
Random soundboard clips throughout.
I only did one. I did the one
Did
for
one.
this one.
Oh, well, that's fair. This ice pack's too cold.
Ah.
Yeah, right when I said this is where he's going to drop in my wife, it popped in right there.
Ooh, good
It's
job, Mark.
Perfect.
Pro mode.
You said it
probably
a couple
says-
more times, and I only did it once. So that's what you
Hmm.
get.
Yep.
You get what you get.
So, Mark, where did you go?
So I definitely posted on Instagram. If you were to follow me, Cody, you would have known where I went.
I do follow you.
No, last week you said that I was somewhere. You didn't know where I was, but it definitely wasn't in Michigan. And it was in Michigan. Saugatuck is on the west side of the state, west of Grand Rapids, just south of Holland, I believe. Because we spent
you
some time
block
in
me?
Holland. No, I didn't block you. So that's what I did. I went to Saugatuck, not by myself. We went to Saugatuck, took a couple dogs, spent some time on the
Nice.
beach. I got Suns Out, Guns Out today for the Twitch stream. Oh, my hair does not look good. That's fine. I got some sunburn on my arms that you can't see on the Twitch stream, which is good. What else did I do? So I had to get, because I had to get a booster for my Hep B vaccines. So I went to the doctor for the second part of the series or whatever, the other day. I didn't see a doctor. I saw a nurse, and the nurse was like, "Ooh, looks like you got a bad sunburn. Thank you, nurse."
Yep, and
If
she's
I-
like, flick, flick, flick.
It was
Does
a
that
man.
hurt?
It was a man. If I want to know my height or my weight, I'll ask you. Just give me the shot. That's for all the nurses out there.
Mhm.
And then I swam for the first time in literally years. I swam in
Wow.
Lake Michigan.
You know how to swim?
Yeah, I just don't like to swim.
Ooh, love swimming.
It's dumb. But we rented a pontoon and went out towards Lake Michigan. Technically, we weren't supposed to go on Lake Michigan, but we did.
Who
In the
drove the pontoon? Do
Matthew.
you have a license?
No, I don't. You don't have to. Anyone 21
don't
and
need a-
over in the
yeah,
state
you
of
don't need a
Michigan, you
license for
don't
that.
need it. Yeah. I think
Hmm.
maybe when I was younger, maybe different states you have to, but definitely not in Michigan you don't. I looked it up.
Yeah, when I was a kid, every single.
I keep hearing it
student.
sounds. The Twitch stream is going to hear something that sounds like a toot, and it might be Cody.
No, it's not me. I promise.
Fake news.
I've got an ice pack on my thing.
But on your
That's
thing.
about it.
So then I
yeah.
also have so we have this smart TV. It's whatever. It's a Vizio, and it's maybe 4 or 5 years old now at this point. But there's HDMI ports that keep going bad. So I think it's got like 4 or 5 HDMI ports. 2 of them definitely are bad by now. So I have everything fished through the wall up to the TV, so there's not cords just hanging down, or I don't have to have a cover that covers up the cords. So
Nice.
I got, it took forever. It was really hard when I moved in to get them all in there, but I got them all through. But now that's pointless because I got a switch. So now that's just down on the little entertainment. It's not an entertainment center. It's a little, I don't know, something that's underneath where the TV is. That's sitting there, so I can switch between the sources and just have one cord. Because the cords that were HDMI that came with everything are they're pretty rigid. So I feel like they themselves are breaking, or they're breaking the ports when the TV moves because it's on a big moving arm. So anytime I need to move that, it'll either break the cord or break the port. So now I have a flat HDMI cord that is like taped to the TV. So that's not going to move in the port, and it's not going to break the cord at all. And that's the only cord. The other ones are there, but they're just hidden in the wall. That's the only cord that goes down, and then everything else is to that HDMI switch. And so far, it's working pretty good.
Go ahead.
Does the HDMI switch work off of a remote, or is it a manual? You got to walk up to it.
It has a remote, but it also is supposed to be, quote, smart in that if it senses a signal, it'll automatically switch to that device. So
Oh, that's good.
I have a Chromecast Ultra, and so that's the kind that you can plug Ethernet into, and it's powered. And then if your TV is capable of it, it can turn the TV on when you send something to cast. There, you don't have to turn the TV on. Casting to the TV can turn it on. There's a specific mode that you can set that. I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, so that works through the HDMI port. I haven't technically tried to do anything else through there other than initially when I tested. The only other things that we have are a PS4. We have a cable box, but it's not even HD, the basic cable channels. We just got it because it's cheaper to have TV and internet when our contract ran out for the 2 years.
Bundle it.
Yeah. So I don't ever even use that. We're boring Cody because he's yawning real big.
No, that's just me being sleepy.
There has to be, I don't know what's going on, but I have been very sleepy the past few days. And it's not
our
always like
office.
that. And I don't know if it's like a high ozone day and nobody can breathe or what's going on, but I have been very sleepy. Instead of going to the gym today, I took an hour nap.
Good job. Oh, nice.
So that was good. But
That's
that was
pretty
good.
darn awesome.
I haven't taken a nap in years. I
What?
love naps. I know. I'm an old guy or whatever. I would definitely benefit from naps. It's just, I haven't done a good nap in a long time. Last time I did, I was on vacation. I think it was like last year. I was like in Florida, and didn't have much going on during the day, and I just went. I'm like, I'm going inside to take a nap.
You were so
Went inside to
naughty.
take It was awesome.
I love naps. Naps are life.
Weird.
They're
This is not the nap podcast. Also, I'm not done with the things that I've done, Cody.
Hey, I'm not that one that started. I just yawned, and it got off topic.
I'm going to push that one to the end, the last one. But I have one more, which is I saw the movie Midsummer. Have you heard of this?
No.
I've heard the name, but I don't know what it's about.
It's super intense. It's not what I thought that it was going to be. It's this I think it's a Swedish festival every year, and in Sweden, wherever they happen to be, it doesn't get dark. It's like that far north that in the summer it just doesn't get dark. It's the solstice. So they celebrate it. I don't remember how long, like 9 days or whatever, but it's the specific group of people, this specific family that it's not a documentary, but the movie's about this specific family. And there's have you seen, what's that show? The Good Place on Netflix?
Yeah.
So the guy who plays Chidi on that is in it, and I don't recognize anybody else, but it's super weird. I can't say a whole lot because it just gives away the weirdness of the movie. But basically it's around this festival, and they go there with the guy who's part of this family. He brings some friends from college, and they all go there.
Is it like
Participate
sci-fi?
in this festival. It's not sci-fi. It's like thriller and unexpected twists.
Cool.
Is it rated?
Probably R, I would imagine,
No, I have to
or
see it.
higher than R. It should be.
Not allowed.
Cody's not allowed to see.
There's some
Higher than R?
Yeah, it's not for sex. It's
Holy-
for like gruesomeness, I would say, which I did not know and did not expect. Yeah,
I kind of want to see it now. Oh, well, the picture is of a lady crying really badly.
Yeah, well, at the
Oh.
beginning of the movie, it doesn't give anything away. She's dating this guy who's really shitty and treats her bad, but she wants to be with him. And then bad stuff happens to her. And then they go on this trip to Sweden. And it's like, okay. And then crazy stuff happens on the trip.
Wow.
So I would
Oh,
see
I
it.
just-
Maybe don't pay. Like we went during the day, so it was like matinee price. I wouldn't pay $12 to see it or anything, but it's wider release than I thought. I thought it would have been like at our artsy main art theater or something, but it was
Yeah,
at the Real Theater
exact-
Celebration Cinema in Grand Holland.
Nice.
go.
That's
So
awesome.
you went to go see it without knowing what it was about, or did you know about it first?
I knew what it was about, but I didn't know that it was like that intense and crazy.
Mm.
I thought it was just about like this family and they're doing this festival, and it's way more than that. So there you have it. Cody, what
Now
did you
I'm gonna
do?
go see it. I did nothing.
Did you take care of?
Yeah, that's about it. And it does not. She's starting to become a little more mobile, so I don't have to do much with her anymore.
Oh,
She's kind of self-sufficient. I'm pretty sure once she's healed, she's gonna leave me. As in, she'll be able to leave the house
Fake
because
news.
she doesn't have any human contact other than me. I'm pretty sure she did more stuff than I did in the past week.
we should ask her
Damn.
what she did.
She hung out with a couple friends.
Oh, getting it.
You know what I did? You know what the highlight of my week was?
What is this?
I had
Oh.
podcast day on Tuesday night with
Oh,
Dave.
that's right.
That was
That's
the most
right.
social activity
You
I
sure
had
did.
outside of work.
There you go.
That's incredibly right.
Yeah, it was not terrible when you guys podcasted. Probably because I gave you the entire program to do, and you were like,
Yeah,
"We're
we
just gonna
booked
read
through
on
it.
through it." It
Yeah.
still ended up like 45 minutes. It wasn't like a 10-minute episode, so that's good.
Need to learn to talk slower.
Yeah, we ramble a little bit, and whatever. It was fine. It was weird though. It was like I got to read what's next on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know.
I like not being responsible.
Yeah, so much easier.
I know you do. So Cody didn't do anything. Dave, what did you do?
Yeah, I also went swimming.
Hey.
I found something I love to do is that we bought these full face snorkel masks when we were going on a vacation a couple of years ago. So we bought these masks. Probably didn't need to buy them. We could have rented them on the trip, but we bought them. Now that we have them, we'll play with them in the pool. And you can basically float face down in the water because you have the snorkel mask on. And I put music on, got my little Bluetooth speaker there next to the pool, and it was just the most relaxing thing ever. I guess that was my equivalent of a nap. It was awesome.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there we go.
I'm just
All of this
sharing it
sounds
until I get
so
to the
good.
script.
It was so nice. I'm gonna do it
Yeah.
again probably tomorrow.
I can probably fit. I have a kiddie pool. It's about 8 inches deep.
Yeah, we do too.
Um,
When Taco went on vacation to his grandparents' house, they got him a little kiddie pool outside so he could splash around in it. So now that's at my
Aw.
house. It's inflatable, I think.
That's
not like
better
the
than mine.
plastic
Mine's one of
kind.
those plastic
The
ones.
hard
those, like,
plastic. Yeah.
yeah, injection molded plastic ones.
I wonder if my
have-
dog would like a little pool like that. I don't know. She usually when we put like the sprinkler on or something like that, she kind of runs away from it. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if she'd like water. I want to try that though to keep her, so she can cool off.
Yeah, they
She
sent
loves being outside.
they sent a video of him, and he didn't really know what to do because his real only experience with water is when he gets a bath, and he hates a bath. But it seemed like he was
Yes.
fine with it, so we'll give him more
That's good.
time in the water.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did when I was swimming, because I don't like, since it was the first time in literally maybe a decade since I've swam last, I was like, my upper body was not used to that. Like I'm lifting weights, but I'm not doing a lot of cardio with my upper body. So that was real hard. But there on the pontoon, there's life vests. I'm not going to wear out life vests because people think I'm dying or something in the water. But there's like the little square that you can hug that like
Yeah.
it has straps or whatever in case
It's a
there's an
butt
emergency.
pad.
Maybe, but it's
That's
a flotation device. So I hugged that, and then nobody could really tell I was doing it in the water, so I could just float around because we didn't bring any noodles or anything like that, any
Aw.
flotation things. So
Did you have the doggos on the boat with you?
no, they're not allowed. They're not allowed on the beach or the boat. So they
That's a
stayed at the
bummer.
house.
Where did they stay? Yeah.
They stayed in the Airbnb.
Ooh, you're gonna be in trouble.
No, they were allowed.
Man, hook me up with that Airbnb.
It was nice too, so I would recommend it. I haven't written them a review still. Whoops.
You got some work to do.
So Cody's tooting. This episode.
No, I'm not.
I hear it again.
This
It's the
episode,
weirdest noise.
I briefly told them, Dave and Cody, before I started the episode that we're going to talk about a topic. And I will read some Reddit stories quickly, and then we can talk about the topic. You don't have to guess what it is because I already told you, but whatever. So this person, TideCon, 19 days ago wrote this. I used to work support for an overseas phone network. It's important to note that we did support for the phone network, not actual phones themselves, but often the two lines would cross over a bit. I remember a particularly irate woman called once, swearing right from the get-go. I won't say all of the F's because that's just a lot. I'll just say effing when she says it. My mobile is not effing working. I can't make any effing text or calls or anything. She's calling us from her landline. Right. Well, let's see if we can figure out what the problem is. Of course, all the standard data protection stuff just makes her more angry and irate, but finally we get through it. Okay, looking at your account, it seems you have enough credit, so it should be working. Well, it's not. I can't send any messages. I'm not receiving any. Nothing's effing working. What's the postcode you're in at the moment? It might be a problem with the signal. The country we offered support for pretty much only provided mobile coverage for the outer edge of the country and nothing in the middle. UGG gives the postcode. Well, there's no network issues in that area, and you should get full signal there, so there doesn't appear to be an issue on our end. Well, it's not effing working at all. Nothing's effing working on the stupid effing phone. Okay, it might be an issue with the phone. Have you tried resetting it, turning it off and on? Well, why would I effing do that? It's always effing worked before. That's just what we'd usually suggest to start with. Is it possible you've put the phone in airplane mode? Of course, this sets her off. I've never put it in airplane mode in my effing life. Why would I ever effing do that? That's such a stupid effing thing to do. No, of course I haven't put the effing thing in effing airplane mode. Effing airplane mode. Why would I effing put it in effing airplane mode? Okay, can you look at the top of the phone for me and tell me what you see? Well, there's the time. There's the battery icon. Little picture of an airplane. Right, there's your issue. It's in airplane mode. Little picture of an airplane.
Wow.
That was so stressful. I dislike when people disrespect customer service reps or even IT reps, whatever it may be. It's just there's no point. Your request isn't going to be handled any more expeditiously because you just start dropping F-bombs and calling them dumb or anything like that.
Yeah, I love it when people second guess you and you called me for help.
Yeah, you're
And
the one
I'm
asking
giving
for help.
I know the most likely answer. My first guess is almost always right. Do not second guess me. I wish I could.
Yeah, I remember when I first started at the company I'm at with Mark right now, I was working on an IT issue, and again, I wasn't hired to do IT, but I was helping someone with something, and I was like, oh, we're going to have to contact our IT company. I can't figure it out. I'm sorry about that. He turns to me and he goes, isn't this your job? Shouldn't you know how to fix it? And I was like, needless to say, that person no longer works for us.
Hey, not because
Not
of
for that reason. It took like 2 years, but.
So Reddit user Apocalypse Now in a Min writes this story. Doesn't matter what the character names are. It was another sunny day glaring into the high-rise office. Things were unnaturally quiet, but that's okay. I have plenty of project work to keep me busy. Just as I sip on my latest 6th cup of coffee for the day, user storms into the office. User had recently been given their first laptop with the company as they'd taken up a new role, meaning they now need to be able to be mobile around the office, and naturally the desktop was not suitable for this. User slams down the laptop on desk and makes a gesture befitting the assistant from The Price is Right. I can't access none of it. User is gesturing towards their map network drives, each with a big red X on them. I take one look at the machine and without missing a beat respond, that's because you're in airplane mode.
I think a lot of people don't realize that there's airplane mode on so many different devices out there.
Oh, yeah.
They always just think it's a cell phone thing, so it's not something they're going to check.
This one is funny to me. Matt Mew13 wrote this one. As I work with computers, I function as tech support for the family, especially my mother, who always makes me laugh when she needs help. As she lives in another country, she sends me a message that she needs some help. She'd bought some new books and they weren't appearing on her Kindle. I suggested we Skype on her laptop so that she's able to hold up the Kindle and I can see what's on the screen as I'm unable to control it remotely. We're on the call, and I start with the usual and say that we need to check if there's a connection to the internet on her Kindle. The easiest way to do this for her would be to load Google and then type in something random and see if some pages appear. She did this and said it was fine. Then I asked her to swipe down from the top so the settings menu appear, and I see her hand reach towards the camera. It took me a second to realize what she was doing. She'd opened the webpage on her laptop that we were Skyping through to check if it had an internet connection, and then tried swiping down across the non-touch laptop screen with the camera at the top. After a little giggling, I explained that she needed to do all of that on the Kindle itself, and we found there was no internet. After getting into the settings, I told her to hold it up to the screen so I could see it, and found that she'd somehow managed to turn airplane mode on. Once that was off, all her books started to appear, and we'd had a laugh about her swiping down on the laptop. Other instances of amusing support requests are, and there are many more, why is there no white ink in the printer? Why is the printer not printing? It was switched off. What is that weird flashing thing on the screen? It's your mouse cursor, Mom.
Oh.
Ah.
My parents know not to contact me for IT support. So
No, that's not
They
true.
don't.
Didn't you tell me one weekend, I was like, what did you do? And you were like, oh, I had to do tech support for my family or something like that.
probably
Dave
but
definitely
anymore,
I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, anymore. I just get too frustrated too fast, and I'm like, I'll come out in a couple weeks to deal with it. I'm not gonna do this over the phone.
What you doing there, Cody? Playing the drums? What are you
playing
holding?
playing my ice sack.
Ice sack?
Yeah, that's what
That's
it is
gross.
now. It went from an ice pack to an ice sack.
That's the new member of the podcast is the ice sack.
Yeah. Jack
It
the
is
ice
melting
sack.
significantly faster than it probably should.
Gross.
Yeah.
The thing with airplane mode that I like is on the iPhone. So I don't know if this is with all iPhones or if it's just my particular iPhone on the Google Fi service, which is still not like it works, but it's not native. Like for Google
Yeah.
Fi, the iPhone is not. Like it's still sort of in beta mode. Just this year, they released that you can have an iPhone on Google Fi. Anyway, so one time I had to contact, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Google. I've never contacted Apple for anything. And I was like, I can't send MMS. I can't send images to non-iPhone users. iMessage uses data, so iMessage back and forth is perfectly fine. But MMS, it uses data, but it doesn't actually go through iMessage to Android users. So I would send something, and usually it can send if you send one at a time to an Android user, and it's never been a live photo. So iPhone does live photos. It'll capture a second or two before and after you actually press to take the photo, and it's a setting you can turn on and off. So it'll never send live photos to an Android user, and sometimes it will not send just a regular picture that's never been a live photo to Android users. You can only send one at a time, especially in a group chat. So I was like, what's going on? How do we fix this? Blah, blah, blah. And Google Fi didn't really know how to, but one of the things that they did tell me to do, which I guess it makes sense, but they were like, can you turn on airplane mode for 5 seconds and then turn it back off, which resets the phone's modem, which I guess makes sense, but I never had to do that with an Android phone. So I never turned airplane
Weird.
mode on and off again, I guess. On means
I
it's in
turned
airplane mode.
cellular data on and off.
Yeah, I've done that too. Yeah, if I had something that was not coming up and I know I have a good signal and I know I'll turn Wi-Fi and mobile off for a few seconds and then back on and then magic.
Magic.
Yeah, well, it's because back in the day when cell phones weren't that smart, anytime we would call the cell phone company to try to get something resolved, they're like, restart the cell phone so that it can reconnect and, connect to the towers nearby. And I'm like, oh, so I still believe that, even though I'm sure that's not true. I do find that sometimes resetting that cellular helps things.
Yeah.
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode.
There you go.
It's fantastic.
Breaking
It's
news.
breaking news.
This audio sound seems really loud to me. I'm going to turn it down a tiny, tiny bit. If it will let me. Something sounds weird. Not so Final Fantasy. We did this last year, Cody, but I doubt that you remember what the year was. So.
Zero.
Nintendo releases the original Final Fantasy video game for its Nintendo Entertainment System in North America July 12th of this year. One of the most successful role-playing games for the NES, Final Fantasy helped to popularize the genre and has gone on to spawn one of the most well-known RPG franchises in history. Ironically, the game's creator, Hironobu Sakaguchi, thought the game would be his last one, hence the final in Final Fantasy. Had the game not sold well, he would have quit making games and gone back to college. So much for that. July 12th of what year was Final Fantasy released for NES? That'll give you a clue.
I'm going to go first on this one if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 19... 99.
99.
89. No, not 99.
Oh,
What?
It was hard to tell what you were saying in that high-pitched voice.
1989.
Okay.
Believe it or not, that's the number I had in my head. So,
I was reading it.
Yeah, you read my mind. Jeez, that's really.
This is where Mark says it's a good idea not to choose this number because he's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go the other way. 1990.
One of you is.
That's right.
Ooh.
The correct answer is 1990.
I call BS. I'm hanging up. See ya. Goodbye. That's
Isn't that sad? You didn't have the sound effects last time. I did not put those underneath the
That's
episode.
right.
I forgot that. What about this?
Breaking news.
breaking news.
Nintendo releases Famicom. July 15th of this year, Nintendo releases their Famicom system, short for Family Computer, in Japan. The Famicom would be slightly modified with a copy protection system, a redesigned chassis, a front-loading cartridge mechanism, and released in North America just over 2 years later as the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES. The Famicom NES system would become one of the most influential game systems ever produced, making Nintendo the premier company in the video game industry during the late this decade and early this decade, picking up the mantle where Atari left off. I actually had a thing for
A
this.
Famicom?
No way.
No, I had a graphic. Let's see.
Oh.
For the Twitch stream. I
You
had one
got
for the
me.
other one too, but I didn't do it.
Hmm.
Start sharing. Okay, there we go. Now you can see it.
Yay. Well, I'll go first on that one because I don't know
Yeah, this is all you. I'm going to one up you by going
I-
one number over you.
exactly. I've never heard of the Famicom, but since it's the prequel or the whatever, the precursor to the NES, I'm going to guess 1985.
Oh, man.
Cody,
I
what's
was
your
going to
guess?
guess somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm
I
going to say
guess the-
1986.
I'm sorry. Ooh.
Just because Dave did it to me before and he
yeah,
won.
yeah.
So my strategy is that. Oh,
You're
yeah, no.
both-
I
Both of you are
Oh,
over.
I sneezed. I didn't mean to say that. 1984.
Dave, what's your new guess?
Oh, new guess. Yeah. 82.
Technically, one of you is,
That's
but not
right.
exactly. The correct answer is 1983.
Oh,
Wow.
damn. We
Oh,
weren't
Holy
that far.
shucks, I'm really bad at this game.
Did you say holy shucks?
I said,
Oh.
aw shucks.
Aw shucks.
Aw shucks.
Yahoo!
Yee-hoo.
Here's some questions from Yahoo Answers. So I tried to look at Quora, but the issue with Quora is there are questions and there are things that you can answer, but it doesn't give you who. I couldn't figure out how to find out who submitted the question, like what user. So it would tell you who answered the question, but I couldn't tell who would submit it. So that didn't make a whole lot of sense of just having random people. Everyone's anonymous who submitted the question, so I didn't do those. But user Terret, Yahoo Answers user Terret asks, what do you think of naming, and the category cameras, what do you think of naming twin girls Tamara and Camera and calling them Tammy and Cammy?
Ooh. The bad part is the camera.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure you set yourself up for failure there.
Not a fan of that.
Uh,
Sorry, not that. No. Camera.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure it'd have to be spelled with like a K or something to make it more legitimate. But hi, my name's Camera.
I've
I
seen
hate-
Kamara.
I hate photos.
I've actually
Ooh.
seen Kamara with a K.
Could it be Camera and they really did not want people to call them Camera?
Could be.
Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yahoo Answers user Michael S. asks, will my PC components be cooler if I ran them outside a PC case?
Depends. It depends on how constrictive and how well built your PC case is
Yeah.
currently.
Update.
There's good airflow in the PC case, then
Yeah.
it might be better off inside.
Yeah, he has an
Correct.
update. My understanding of the purpose of the computer case is to protect components such as the motherboard from damage. I can run computer components outside the case, but I risk having something spilled on it or possible dropping something on it. It's my goal to mount everything into a plastic travel case so my desktop computer, which is designed for gaming, is more portable. I'm curious, since the components would have direct access to air, if this will keep the parts cooler.
I mean, it may. Again, it's just like a you never know situation. There's a lot of additional parts inside a computer that keep it cool, other than just the case.
Yeah, it's not just air.
fan.
There's fans.
Yeah, they're definitely like you have to worry about the heat sink inside there, what kind of system you have set up there. Consider water cooling if you're gonna be going that route. It could help tremendously. So who knows? Not us.
Yahoo Answers user Casey asks, how much would you pay for a PS2 that came with 4 controllers, a memory card, 2 Guitar Hero guitars plus games, DDR mat with 2 DDR games, PlayStation camera, and a bunch of random games in various working conditions?
$65.
Yeah, that sounds fair. I mean, what the hell? It comes with all the games and stuff. If everything works and you have nothing, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like a cool set. I just threw away a PlayStation 2 that was modded. Had a bunch of games on it. So 65 is my answer.
One user
What are other people
anonymous.
saying? I'm
One
interested to
user
know.
anonymous says no more than $1.50.
Yeah, that's what GameStop will give you for it.
Oh, they're terrible with buyback.
Trade it in.
Yeah, I don't go to GameStop. I don't like to go. I don't play video games that much, but I don't want to go to a place where someone's going to try to hard sell me anything. No, I don't want your special card. I don't want any special protection thing. I don't care about returning it. I will never return a game. I will just throw it away when I'm done with it or give it to somebody else. I can
have
go
so many special
on
cards.
the PS4 network and buy something and no one talks to me and I can just play whatever I want. So that's what I will do.
Sounds good to me.
That's
Sounds
what
like a
I
plan.
choose. Yahoo Answers user something is not working. Hitagi asks, iOS
Sup,
users, do you really need to pay for the apps before you can download it? I plan to buy an iPhone, but they said that you have to pay for the apps there.
The apps there. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
have to pay for apps, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Wait.
well, the apps that you have to pay for, yes, but the apps that are free, no. I mean,
Yeah.
it's straightforward.
It's a trick question.
Do I have to pay for something that I have to pay for?
Come on, I
Yes,
don't
you
want to
do.
pay.
Yeah, I do.
Fake news.
Oh, there you go.
I used
Howdy.
it. It took a long time to get it on there, and I used it.
I don't know what you heard that paying for apps is fake. I don't know.
Yeah, like you guys said, if it's
Dumb
an app
question.
that costs money, you have to pay for it. So that's the thing about. I think that they're maybe being taken to court or like challenged for their monopoly on the App Store because it's very hard to get anything into the iOS, into the Apple App Store. But that's how they keep things from like propagating malware everywhere. Like it's a closed system; they have control of it. So if you have to buy it, you have to buy it, just like you do on Android or anywhere else. There's not a way to like
Exactly.
use LimeWire to get it or something. It's a closed system, so yes, buy it if it's something that you have to pay for. And generally, it's going to be better if you have to buy it anyway. If you get something free,
Yeah.
it's not as easy for them to steal the data from like an iPhone, but from an iOS system. But they still can do it, and Apple definitely can do it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
User Jenna, Yahoo Answers user Jenna asks, how do I restore my texts from my old phone? I broke my phone, so I got a new one. When I transferred my SIM card, I got all my photos, but none of my texts. How do I fix this?
I don't know if texts are necessarily backed up every single time. Like it depends on what your settings are like.
Yeah. Check your settings, but I don't know.
Yeah, and she didn't say what kind of phone that she has, so like you
That doesn't
can
help.
deal with like iMessage. You can is not cross platform. It's like you can have it on your Mac desktop or iPad or your phone, but and it can back up to iCloud that way. But I don't know anything unless you have like WhatsApp or something. It's not backing up necessarily your SMS messages. So I don't really know on Android what to do about that or why you need them necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And your texts don't back up to your SIM card, so that doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
with it.
no, not at all.
Your photos
No.
also
Carries
don't.
very
So
little data.
if you got an Android, your photos are backing up either to an SD card that you have, but probably to Google Photos and or Google Drive, because they're trying to combine those two now. I got an email that said that. Or it's going to iCloud if you have an iPhone. So it's hard to figure out what to tell you about your texts. You might not
Definitely
get them
need
back.
more info.
Yeah. Not enough information. Jenna,
Come on, Jenna. Get your ish together.
get your head out of your ass. Yahoo Answers user on the 45 asks, question about sound bars. I'm just about to buy a Sony Bravia 55-inch 4K TV. It's a lot of information, but have seen a really nice looking Panasonic 3.1 soundbar that I wanted to get to go with it. Does it matter that it's a different brand, or is it preferable to get a soundbar that's the same brand as your TV?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, don't think it matters at all.
I think the only benefit I got out of mine, and I don't know if this is just the way it works or because I have a Samsung TV and I bought a Samsung soundbar. Coincidentally, it just was the right price and all that. The soundbar works, the power and the volume and all that work with my remote for my TV. So they work together. When I turn the TV on, the soundbar comes on with it. The volume goes up and down. They match each other. I can also change it manually with the soundbar remote separately, but I don't know if that's by the way it's designed because they're the same brand, or if they all do that. I'm sure you can set them both up that way, but if it's a different brand.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that I think that there may be benefit to having the same brand if they happen to work like that, or there's some kind of special features that this TV can do, but it's like it's a sound bar, so it's just going to do the sound. I have a Vizio TV, and I think it's a Bose sound bar, and it's fine. The audio on the TV is turned completely off, and it only goes through the sound bar. So there's two separate remotes, but it's fine. Like, I don't care about that. And I definitely don't have. I remember a long time ago, I don't like to say back in the day like Cody does, but like universal remotes were a thing to control like 6 different things. I don't do that. I have the few different remotes, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So that might be the benefit if it's the same brand, but again, it's not enough of a benefit to me to get the same brand of TV and soundbar. You don't have to do that. There's no reason you have to do that.
Right.
Exactly.
Yahoo Answers user Damien asks, what happens if your computer dies? And that's all he says.
What is that? Oh, there's no additional
Is
details.
there any more information to that?
That's all.
That's all, folks. If it dies, you have to buy a new one.
All computers go to
shit.
heaven.
Yeah, it goes to heaven forever.
Dig a hole in your backyard.
Naughty.
GL, have fun.
Do
That's a real
ladies
good
work
question.
here?
Whoa, was that a precursor or is that our answer?
That's our answer. Do ladies
That's
work
the
here?
answer.
Oh.
Good answer.
There's a lot of people that just have taken this opportunity on Yahoo Answers to write funny things that they think that it's funny, coming up with little stories and little things to say. But maybe don't spend so much time on Yahoo Answers. Is what I would say about that. Nothing happens. You might lose all your data. It's like I don't understand what answer you're looking for, Damien.
Yeah, really.
What do you think is going to happen if your computer dies?
Damien.
You don't have a computer. You have to buy a new one. That's what's going to happen.
Give us more details, Damien.
Get a new one or get it fixed. Move on.
Yahoo
Looks to be you,
Answers
Damien.
user Anonymous asks,
We're gonna call
Jan.
Jan,
and
have you ever had to block someone or unfriendly them on Facebook because of an argument about politics?
yeah, all the time.
You've had to unfriendly them?
I always unfriendly them.
What was the
Blocking
argument?
them. So the smart thing to do is just to simply unsubscribe from their stuff. If it's really that bad, then you can block them, but unsubscribing makes it so you can't see their posts, which is probably what's inflaming your beliefs.
Inflaming your beliefs, you say?
Inflaming.
Making them all fiery and
Fake
toasty.
news. Fake news.
I am not on Facebook, so I haven't had to deal with that. I've muted people on Twitter. I've blocked people on Twitter, but
Yeah, the only
That's
reason I'm
about
on
it.
Facebook now is because to have a business Instagram, you have to have a Facebook page. So
yeah.
that's pretty fun. So for the podcast is all, not for work.
Good.
I have had to, I don't remember the specific conversations, but I just don't use it. I don't understand I know when I was younger, I definitely would be like, oh, I got to tell them what I think. But nobody's mind changes because of arguments on social media. So there's no reason to do it. Everybody's in like their own bubble and their own echo chamber of this is what I think. And people who agree with me, I like. And people who don't, I'm going to fight with. It's like, there's no point. Don't do that in real life because nobody likes that guy. Don't do it on social media, even just because it's easier. Just don't do it. Don't post about politics on Facebook. That's how we got our current president. Yahoo Answers user Anonymous.
Bum, 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 bum.
Anonymous, who will call Hotspot, asks, where can you get free Wi-Fi for your laptop?
Not a terrible question.
It's actually, there's
Starbucks.
my mom got it. Yeah, you can go to any cafe,
Libraries.
restaurants, libraries. They're typically going to have some kind of free Wi-Fi for you, but there is a place to get a free hotspot. You get
Net
500
zero?
megabytes. Yeah, I think it is actually, or something dumb like that. There are a couple places you can get free hotspots, but where they get you is you only get 500 megabytes of data, which you will eat through in a day.
Oh yeah.
And then they charge you for every gigabyte after that, and it's significantly more expensive than just simply paying for the internet up front.
Oh, yeah.
But it is free for the first 500. My mom screwed up. She didn't know that. She got the free one, ended up using like 60 gigs by watching Netflix in a month and owed like $4.
How many?
So like
How many
60
bucks?
gigs for Netflix because she didn't have Netflix at the time, so she binge watched Netflix 24/7.
But how much did she owe?
Like $400.
Oh, Jesus. All I heard was 4. I was like, 4 what?
$4.
$4
Dogs.
bucks.
4 doll hairs.
Yeah, do they still do the thing where you can like, it's not for Wi-Fi, but you can like plug, maybe it is, I don't remember what it is, but you plug something into your phone jack and then that's like your phone number. That can be your phone. It's weird.
Oh,
What
Magic
was it?
Jack?
Yeah, Magic Jack. Do they still do that?
Yeah, you plug your US into a USB
There you go.
and you get a phone.
The guy I work with used to use that for his primary phone. He said for like 3 years, and it worked great for him. You can take it with you anywhere you go, and that's your phone.
Yep, it's just VoIP. I mean,
Yeah.
like Skype.
VoIP.
Skype, Google. Google has their own calling system now. Facebook has their own calling system. You can just put a phone number in and call anyone. I think there's going to be a point where phone calls and all that stuff just becomes free.
Hopefully
It's
it
really
becomes
data.
obsolete. I hate talking on the phone.
Yeah. Ooh, as do I.
Somebody called me today at work and did not leave a
Yeah, I remember
message.
saying that.
They called me 3 times, so then I just answered the phone. Like, leave a voicemail at least. What are you doing?
Who was it?
It was a vendor.
Oh.
Yahoo Answers user Eugene Scherzer asks,
That's a very specific real name.
It really is.
what is iOS?
Hmm.
I actually don't know what it stands for. iPod operating system, iPad, What does the I stand for?
The I think just is an Apple thing.
Yeah,
OS
it's
is
just because
obviously
of like
operating system, but-
iPad, iPhone.
Yeah,
the
it just
I.
goes in line with their iOS is also the like the kernel or the operating system of Cisco switches.
Yeah.
Huh.
I remember when I was genning a couple of switches at work, and it says, talked about what version of iOS you're running on. And I'm like, excuse me? Oh, okay, that's what they call it.
Yeah, I feel like everything basically runs on that then, or Chromium, or some form of Chrome these days.
Apple first introduced the now iconic i branding with the iMac in '98. During the announcement, Steve Jobs shared that the primary meaning comes from the marriage of the excitement of the internet with the simplicity of Macintosh. So iMac, internet,
internet.
I guess.
In a way, okay.
He also
I got
had, a year later at Macworld in '99, Jobs unveiled the iBook as Apple's consumer notebook as an iMac to go. Blah, blah, blah. The iBranding became a household name with iPod's massive popularity. And then there's an icon or a like infographic that has lots of words that start with the letter I. I don't know why that's on there. Internet, individual, instruct, inform, inspire. It must be like their internal training or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then
That's
the company iHome got really lucky. I'm shocked they weren't sued for it, but they got in early on the game, copyrighted iHome, and now they have all these products that everyone thinks are Apple related. They think they're made by Apple, but nope. It's just this really cheap offshoot.
Offshoot.
Oh my God, Emil!
Whoa! Amazing!
I'm gonna hang up.
Shut up!
No one should ever be that irate. If I ever meet someone like that, I'm just gonna. No.
This week, This Week in Tech.
Whoa.
That's a weird way to say that. Microsoft is planning to make Windows 10 PCs work without passwords.
I've heard about this.
While the company's been working on removing passwords from Windows 10 and its Microsoft accounts for a number of months now, the next major update to Windows 10 next year will go one step further. You'll be able to enable a passwordless sign-in for Microsoft accounts on a Windows 10 device. This means PCs will use Windows Hello, face authentication, fingerprints, or a PIN code. Password option will simply disappear from the login screen if you decide to opt into this new Make Your Device Passwordless feature. So why does Microsoft want people to stop using passwords to log into Windows 10 PCs? It's really simple. Passwords suck. People love to reuse them across every website and on their personal devices, and although we have a number of two-factor authentication methods available, it's still difficult to convince people to use them. Microsoft argues a PIN code is far more secure than a password, even if it seems more simple to use a 4-digit code. This is thanks to unknown variables and the fact that the code is stored on a device and not shared online. Windows 10 stores your private key on a device with a trusted platform module, which is a secure chip that keeps a PIN local to your device only. Servers can be compromised and passwords stolen, but a Windows Hello PIN wouldn't be affected. Microsoft's now planning to allow people to remove the password option entirely from Windows 10 login screen. This will also extend to business users through Azure Active Directory, allowing businesses to go fully passwordless with security keys, the Authenticator app, or Windows Hello. It's all another step toward a future where hopefully we don't have to worry about remembering complex passwords, having a password manager, or avoiding reusing passwords. If Microsoft, Apple, and Google have their way, then we'll be using our eyes, fingers, or physical keys that we possess to get into our accounts and devices instead of passwords.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I already use a PIN for my desktop at home, but I mean, in the back end of things, my Microsoft account is still password protected. It just means my computer's not.
Yeah, I use a PIN, but these devices never leave, and I use VPN and all sorts of other nonsense. So I'm not that worried about my home devices anyway. But I don't like passwords. Are bad news. I don't like passwords. Passwords are a bad thing. Control-Alt-Delete is terrible. We don't have that on our computers at work anymore. You can just hit enter and you don't have to do Control-Alt-Delete. I like biometric authentication better, but we don't have that across the board. It's not built in.
No, Mark's office has it though. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have a finger. It was inexpensive, so it works and it keeps people out that aren't supposed to get in. I don't have to type my complex password every time, but it's if I got a more expensive one or a better one, it'd probably be better than what I have now. So if we ended up doing that at any point, we would want to spend more money on it. Mr. Hanakna said, Cody, you just scared the shit out of me. I was picking clothes up and you screamed out of nowhere.
When did I scream?
When was that? I don't know. I wasn't even looking at the Twitch stream. Sorry, Mr. Hanakna.
Was that when that soundbite was played?
Holy moly, Mr. Hanakna is alive?
Is he live on there now?
Fake news.
Fake news.
He's not actually.
Hello,
I
Mr.
still think
Hanakna.
Mark is Mr. Hanakna.
No, his name is Austin. He lives in the South somewhere. I think Texas, something like that. His
Lives in the
address
South.
is
I'm
123
sorry.
Sesame Street. That's not Texas, right? That's Hollywood, California. It's hard to tell.
I do not know.
Neither do I.
How about that?
How's that
That'd
ice
be
pack there?
Yeah, what
It's
about
so
that ice
good.
pack?
I'm going to be so much more comfortable when it gets to be fall or winter.
When it's not 90 degrees outside every day, even
Yeah,
when it
it's awful.
rains.
Like, I live in Michigan for a reason, not to deal with this.
Well, welcome to the real world. Global climate change.
Fake news.
Ah, there we go. Good job. There's a little
Hey,
bit
how
of a
about that?
delay.
So now we come to the time of the show where I ask you, Cody, not what do you mess with, what do you fuck with this week?
What? Are you up to date on Drunken Arcanauts?
You were so naughty.
I am, but I don't remember what happened in the last episode. They're in the series that Cayman is DMing.
Yeah,
right?
what the heck?
Yeah.
Did
Well,
you know
so
about this? Could you have warned me?
I did know. Jay told me about it. But they're in a new in a different series because they've got a couple different people that are in it. Clancy's actually playing, and
Yeah.
Chad has been out of town, so that's why. Or he was out of town the one day that they.
Oh.
So instead of
Yeah,
not having anything to push out, they just came and do a series.
I was getting pretty darn frustrated while you were out. I was listening to it, processing checks, and I'm like,
It was
huh,
a brand new thing.
why is Cayman talking right? Whoa, there are new voices in here. I'm like, what are they gonna do with all of the characters? And then they're like, we're in this place. I'm like, oh boy, I can't do it. I can't remember the differences. So sorry, I'm not listening to that one just yet.
Cody, what do you think will happen first? Cayman releases an episode of his podcast. You release an episode of your podcast, Chubby People
Okay.
Eating Cheese, or Dave gets a video camera for the Twitch stream.
Oh,
That's a tough one. That's the over under on that.
Since Cayman is now the DM of another podcast, I'm gonna say that is the very last. Like that will almost never happen. I'm gonna say then me and then Dave getting a camera. So Dave getting camera would be most recent or the quickest.
Yes.
Because
Good
what will
times.
likely happen is Mark will just mail you a camera at some point. He'll figure out your address and it'll just be like, surprise. And you'll be like, my computer doesn't have USB ports. Sorry.
I'll look it
Sending
up on
back."
IMDb.
Yeah.
Gives everyone's
We'll go
address.
to your house.
Oh, Mr. Hanakna asked that at 7:39, and it's now 8:26.
Oh, wow. We suck.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we can drive to New York and get a webcam in your hands.
I am
Sure.
gonna ask Jay at some point in the near future. I'm going to. I don't think I put it in our payroll thing yet, but I'm gonna go to DC, I believe, in October. But at some point this fall, I want to go out to Idaho/Washington and do some live shows or some shows with those folks. So Cody, you can go if you want, unless somebody breaks their leg or foot or whatever it is. Ankle. What is it?
She can take care of herself.
My wife.
She's mobile now.
Yeah, she's mobile. She
Yeah.
showed me that she can move her ankle like this. For those that can't see it, it's just
It's
I'm
not very much.
slightly moving my hand.
Yeah.
Teeny weeny bit.
Teeny
Yeah, poor
weeny.
girl.
So I fuck with this week. I started a podcast. Matthew told me about. It's not new, but we listened to
I
it.
thought you started hosting a new podcast.
No, maybe. I'm thinking
freaks
about it.
me out. You
Oh,
talked
I,
about hosting a new one for years.
Yeah, I'm an admin on an Instagram account, so that's pretty fun.
Ooh, on that new one? Good. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Congrats.
That new one.
The new one that you like every single post for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It started
gotcha.
with a week ago. There was like 3,600, 3,700 followers, and now there's 4,100. I will take all the credit for that. It's not just me.
Okay, I'll
so I
follow
started
them so
that.
I can be 4,101.
Yeah, and then the podcast that I started listening to is shockingly NPR, but it's called Wait Wait Don't Tell Me. Have
Oh
you
my
listened to this?
gosh!
Have you told me
Mark, we have
about
so much
this?
to talk about.
It's not in my rotation. I think I've just listened to a couple that I've downloaded. I don't have it like auto download, and they only release once a week, like everyone else. But
Yeah, it's good to just stick with it once a week because it talks about current news, and it's kind of lame listening to the old episodes.
because it's not current
So-
by the time you hear
No,
it.
it's not. It's like, oh, the president was just elected. Like, oh boy, you are in for
Skip.
a rude awakening.
The president was just elected. He's a black man, and it can't get any worse than this. And then we had Trump.
That's the stuff they'll say
Ah.
when Lori.
And they
Whoa,
just
I
Who's
lost
Lori?
four listeners.
My wife.
We just
When
lost a
Lori and I
listener.
went to Chicago, we ended up going to the studio where they record that. We wanted to go and see a show, but unfortunately, that costs money, which we did not.
Your shirt's all wet now, Cody.
My crotch is way wetter.
Ew.
You gotta isolate that soundbite right there.
If Cody didn't forget to turn on Audacity this time.
Oh, wait. Oh,
It's
and
not
I
been
just turned
recorded
it
the whole
off, so
time.
you can't have that soundbite.
I have it on Skype. I always record Skype. That's why we don't have to
That's
do
true.
like a joint countdown at the beginning. Everybody says 3, 2, 1, or like other shows do that do Skype.
You just line them up.
Yeah, just line it up with the Skype audio and mute that shit, and we're good to go.
Mhm.
So Cody, did you say what you fucked with this week?
Yeah,
What was it?
Drunken Argonauts.
That's not new.
Oh, new stuff. Me and Lori started watching Total Wipeout, which
I
is
don't
an
know what
old
that is.
show. It's just about dumb people going on obstacle courses, and it's really bad. But when she's home 24/7, we have to get creative with what she can watch. So that's what I mess with right now. It's my life.
Cool. Dave, what do you mess/fuck with this week?
Pretty much the same, not too much. But I am. Every time that question comes up, I think, wow, my life's boring. But I am going to see Weird Al Yankovic this week.
Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's still kicking.
Oh yeah, I love him. He's
Right on.
awesome. Taking my kids and going with another father and son, one of my son's friends. So I've seen him once before. It's a It's a phenomenal concert. It's not far, about an hour drive, so not too bad. But I cannot wait for that.
Did your kid like his fake college time in Philly?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I picked him up and I wasn't sure. He wasn't texting me a lot of information, like every day. I'd be like, "How's your day going?" And I'd get, "Fine." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's great. Okay,
Good to know.
Having a good time.
I can't tell if he's miserable or he's not. He's a kid of a few words. But when I picked him up and I'm like, "So, tell me more." And he's like, "If I had to do another week, I could." I'm like, "Really? Okay,
Dang.
that's cool." Well, you're not, because it's expensive.
Got him.
Yeah, he had a good time. I saw his artwork that he did. They did a few projects there, and they had him up on a wall. They did like a exhibit for the kids and stuff. It was really good. It was cool. I met the teachers and some of the RAs and stuff. It was really nice, and it was fun driving. What was it? Driving 3 hours to pick him up, and standing around in the sun for a little while, and then driving another 3 hours back.
Nice.
Fun.
Is that just like a random school, or is that the one that he's gonna go to, that he wants to go to when it comes time?
Random school. Yeah, random school. My wife.
My
was
wife.
I was waiting for that. she wanted to see if he wanted to do any kind of like summer programs for graphic arts, and she found that one, and it was a little expensive, but it not only did it, he learned a little bit with graphic arts and Photoshop and designing and drawing and learning some of the ways that they do things. He also got to get like the college experience, fending for himself, getting up, showering, getting ready, going to eat, timing things out, going to bed on time, all that stuff. And
Gaining the freshman 15.
Yeah.
In 1 week.
Yeah, right. Boot camp. But he really liked it. It was cool.
Was it as expensive as actual college?
Probably more, because it was just 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I want to say, oh geez, I want to say in the vicinity of like $4,000.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because it's
Nice.
room and board, and the classes. They went to class
yeah.
every day, twice a day, and one day they did three classes during the day. Each one was like 3 hours. They would get up, breakfast, class, lunch, class, and then a field trip at night. So they were going on,
Oh yeah, they're doing all sorts of stuff.
museums.
Yeah, they're doing cool stuff.
Yeah, so all packed in there, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's
He enjoyed
fun.
it.
I didn't do
Good
anything like
experience.
that when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
When
I didn't
I
do
was
anything like that when I was 16.
When I was 16, the thing that I did, my parents were like, it was my junior year. I graduated at 17 from high school. They were like, they're going to be the last time we have for a family vacation. Let's go to New York City. So we were going to do that. At the last minute, we were like, nah, let's go to Washington, D.C. Didn't tell anybody else that we had changed our plans. And the last day that we were there and we're going to head back home was September 10th, 2001.
Oh,
So we were in
damn.
D.C. September 10th, September 11th. We left D.C. to come back to Michigan.
Holy crap.
Ooh,
So,
wow.
that was
that's
fun.
A very
Fun
interesting
time.
Story.
Yeah.
I was in Manhattan on September 11th.
Yeah, we were supposed to be, but we were not.
I was working there, and I was in a really tall building. I was working for Estee Lauder, and I was on the 50th floor of Trump Tower, actually, kind of funny. And we
Fake news.
We were up there. Fake news. You were not in my tower. But we were up there, and our boss, after the first plane hit, our boss, we were all watching the news and listening online, and our boss called and said, "Come in my office." So we all went into his office. He had like floor to ceiling windows on the back, on the one wall, and we looked out and we're standing there watching the smoke come out of one of the towers, and we're like, "Wow, I wonder what's going on." And while we're all staring at it, the second plane hit, but from the back. We didn't actually see the plane. We saw the explosion, and we were like, "Okay," and that's when they, called to evacuate the building because we were in a really tall building.
Yeah.
And they're like, so we ended up walking over the 59th Street Bridge to Queens, and one of the other guys that we worked with, his wife came with the big minivan and picked everybody up and gave everybody rides home, and that was it. Cell phones weren't really working, barely. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was insane.
Oh, boy.
What were you doing, Cody? In
I was in
kindergarten?
elementary school. I was in the school library.
You were in
Everyone
elementary
knows
school?
where they were. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. It's because I got held back so many years.
5 years.
Yeah. I was
So you
in
didn't
the
graduate at
library.
17?
Nope, I was not cool enough like Mark. Show off. I graduated a full 19 years old, like everyone's supposed to.
Oh, nice. One thing that
Dropped
Cody
out.
and I fuck with this week at work is we are beginning to make the switch over to our new VoIP provider. So we'll see how that goes. 'Cause
I'm nervous.
porting numbers has never gone smoothly in the history of my working life. So we'll see how that goes. The last time that we ported numbers just from one phone carrier to another phone carrier, they forgot to port our toll-free numbers. And wasn't it like our main phone number didn't port?
Yeah, it was our
and
main
no one
phone
could call
line,
the
so
office.
any calls that came in, it said it was disconnected. And we didn't catch on for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Because people
Damn.
could call the other numbers, the direct dial numbers. A bunch of the other ones still worked. So we were like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
That
So we'll
was-
see how that goes.
I'm going to be sick for the next 4 weeks. I don't want to deal with that.
And maybe in the next week or so that we switch over and start training, and then whatever the porting process looks like, we may just forward the main number to the new service and deal with that. And then once everything's ported, it'll all work. But
Yeah.
I'll talk to the person that I'm talking to on Thursday.
Nice, me too.
Start
I'll
that
be there kind of
process.
in
Yeah.
spirit. So did anyone buy anything from Amazon Prime on Amazon Prime Day?
No. Oh,
Nope.
well, I
Neither
did.
did
I bought more exercise tank tops, which were not on Amazon Prime Day. And I bought a little, it clips onto the desk, and then you can hang your headphones on that. I bought that.
Nice. I saw
Um,
that.
I gotta get one of
It's
those.
like $8.
Yep.
And I bought some running shorts.
Dang.
None of that was an
That's pretty
Amazon
darn
Prime deal,
awesome.
So.
Can you never let me do this again? I look like a slob. It looks like I've been eating ice cream and it's just all over
Have
my
you?
shirt.
Just wear a black shirt next time.
It's like I've been eating cheese and I'm chubby.
Fake news.
Hey,
Are you going to
That
ever do that
shirt looks-
podcast, or is that just a pipe dream?
it's a pipe dream right now. I may have to drive to Wisconsin to go and pick up a car.
Why? How many cars
And
do you
some
need? You
cheese.
already have 3.
We need to consolidate them by selling 3 and getting 1 decent car.
You're going to share a car?
Lori can't move her ankle right now. It's useless.
I like when Cody has to share a car when they're down to like 1 car, because then Cody gets to work at a reasonable time.
Yes. The thing is, though, that if I get to work at a reasonable time, I don't get to leave early. I always have to stay until 5:30. So if I come in at 7, I'm still there till 5:30.
Yeah, by the time Cody gets to work, I've been at work for 3 hours already.
Mhm. It's a pretty touchy topic for the two of us right now. We're not going to get into it.
It's not touchy.
Sensitive.
I feel fine. I feel fine about it.
You remember that one day / that one point in our careers where
At band camp?
we were supposed to be switching early days, and you said, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm always going to work early.
I don't remember that. I remember that we did 410s. We switched that, and we would each have
Yeah.
a different day off.
Yeah, there was a point in our career
3-day weekend.
where Mark and I negotiated basically so that one of us would come in early and get to leave early so that there's always an IT technician available. Well, it got to the point where Mark's like, I don't want to stay till 5:30. I've been here for years. You can't tell me what to do.
I
And
don't
then he
think
started
that
going in
happened.
early every day,
I
so
don't
I had
think
to
that
stay
happened.
late. I don't think Mark has ever stayed till, or in the past 3 years, I say you have not stayed until 5:30.
Yeah, I would work 11-hour days before that. So how do
Correct.
Anyway,
Fun.
this is all good
Bum,
fun
bum,
fodder.
bum,
Bum, bum,
on my
bum,
life.
bum.
That's right.
You've been listening to Help Desk Nightmares on the Halfway Network. If you like the show, for others like it, check out halfwaynetwork.com. Leave us a review on iTunes so other people
We'll see
can
how much
find
of
the
that
show.
I leave in.
Follow us on
at the end.
Instagram at Helpdesk Nightmares, or for show notes and links, visit helpdesknightmares.com.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Obama.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come
So
on,
Mark,
man.
when should I take time off?
When do you
I
want
feel like
to?
there's not going to be a good time for the next 2 months to take time off. You took the prime week to take off.
First
now
day
I'm
the phone
screwed.
system's in. The first day that new phone system's in, that's your first day of vacation.
Seriously.
Like it
guys
already
are probably-
exists.
You guys
Ooh.
are probably having a vendor do it, right?
They're gonna assist it, like it's an assisted implementation. So hopefully they deal with all of that stuff. I'll find out on Thursday. We get 3 1-hour blocks of training and doing stuff. So
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge mess. Everyone's going to complain, and I'm going to get so stressed out that I'm going to be like, Mark, can you yell at everyone, please? And I'll be like, I'm going home. Good luck.
What day is that starting on?
We
the
don't-
training is Thursday, or like the implementation
Admin
begins
training.
Thursday. Yeah, and then we'll figure out porting and what that timeline looks like, and then probably I'm hoping for next week, which is the last week of July,
Correct.
to start actually switch stuff over. But I got to figure out what that looks like with the VoIP provider.
So if that goes well, I could take off the week of July 29th